Hey guys, Chris Americos here for teachingrevolution.com. That's teaching-revolution.com. And today I'm going to be talking about the like-love tendency and the dislike-hate tendency. And you might be thinking, what does that have to do with teaching? What does that have to do with business? Let me explain. So most people have this tendency that when they don't like something or when they like something, that they're going to find more characteristics, more qualities, more things that reinforce that idea that they already have. So in other words, they're not going to be very objective when they perceive new events or new qualities from that same person or thing or place. So for example, let's say you go to a restaurant and the first time you go in the restaurant, somebody's really rude to you. What are you going to say? You're going to say, I don't like that restaurant. But is that really an objective observation? Not really, right? Because it's not that restaurant that was rude to you, it's that person that was rude to you. And so you can even associate your feelings of like or dislike with the general area or place or other people who are around, right? You might say people of this type are rude or bad, and then you might generalize that to other people who you believe fit into that category. We see this a lot with teenagers when they talk about subculture groups and music groups. We have groups of teenagers who like rap music, groups of teenagers who like rock music, and they tend to not like the other group. And so if they meet a person who says, I like this music, then they might automatically categorize them in that group and then say that they probably don't like them because they're not going to have common interests, something like that, right? So that's a very simplified version of it. But we can see this a lot about people not being objective in how they judge things. And it especially happens when we talk about individual people. Because people make different decisions, right? People can make bad decisions, good decisions. And we see this a lot with politics, that just because somebody's a member of one party, if you support that party, you like that person. If you don't support that party, you don't like that person. And it doesn't matter what bad things that person does, you might still like them. Or if you don't like that party, it doesn't matter what good things that person does, you still dislike them. So we're always looking for reasons to hold on to the reason that we have for not liking or for liking something or someone. I've seen this a lot in my personal life, where a friend does something that I wouldn't think a friend would do. And because that friend did something negative to me or bad to me, then I start to think, they're not my friend, they're not a good person, they always do bad stuff. And so from that point forward, I might start behaving as if I don't like that person. Because now they've given me the reason not to like them that I can hold on to and I can reinforce with other facts, right? And we can see this a lot, that a person who might have liked you before didn't like something you did, or maybe even not something you did, but something they heard about you, a choice that you made. And from that point on, they start to criticize more, they start to look down on you more, and they start to think about you differently. And it comes from this fact that they're not being objective. And it's not only other people, I do this too. You do this, everybody does this. It's natural, it's part of being a human being, and we have to cope with it. But when we know that we have this tendency and we know that this is happening to us inside of our minds, inside of the way that we think, then we can try to make some corrections for it. And we can try to pull ourselves back and be more objective and say, okay, I don't like this person because of this, 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 this. But can I still be objective about facts that they present to me? And again, with politics or with group dynamics, we see this all the time, that someone will just say categorically that everything that person or that group does is wrong because they're a member of the group or because of past actions or decisions that they have shown, right? So it's not objective, and what we're doing is we're really doing a disservice to ourselves by not being objective, because there are new facts and there is new information that's coming in. And if we have these blinders on and we're not open to that new information, then we're just doing a disservice to us because we're losing out on perceiving new information. Maybe that person is really smart, even though you don't like them. maybe that musician is very talented, even though you don't like them. With music, I noticed this before too. I met a musician, and he was really rude to me. And so in the future, people started to say, oh, you probably don't like that person because he was rude to you. And I noticed that, is it really about that person or about that musician? Or, what do I really not like here? I don't like the fact that he's rude to me. So as a person and his behavior as a person, I didn't like that in that situation. Now, were there other situations where he behaved differently? Yeah, there were. But I overlooked them because I always remembered the first situation, the first time when I met them. And people would ask me, do you like this person's music? And I would say, I like their music, but I don't like them as a person. And so that's the kind of objectivity that we want to have. We want to be able to say, even though I don't like this person as an individual, even though I don't like the person who made these kinds of decisions, and I really don't like those decisions that they made, right? It's not the person, it's really the decisions that they made, that I can still respect their talent, their skill. I can still respect their intelligence. So let's take someone that everyone knows, for example. Let's say Bill Gates. So maybe you feel like someone who has that much money, or someone who has accumulated that much wealth, maybe you feel like that's negative, and that's a negative quality, and that's something that people shouldn't do. And so you say, I don't like Bill Gates. But is that really objective? Because you've probably never met him. You probably never had a conversation with him. So he's probably never done anything to you as an individual, as a person, right? He has lots of positive things that he's trying to do. So sure, maybe there are some qualities that some people might not like, but there are also some qualities that people might like. And the same qualities different people might like or dislike. So we need to try to overcome our human tendency to reinforce our initial impressions. And we need to try to be more objective. And this is going to help you with business, and it is going to help you with teaching. If you're a teacher and you have a student who didn't complete an assignment, who fell asleep in class, who came to class late several times, you might label this student as someone who is not going to achieve much, or someone who is not as intelligent as other students, or someone who just doesn't try as hard as other people, right? This is a label that we might put on them. And labels, categories, stereotypes, they help us understand information better, because there's so much information in the world that without categorizing, it would be really impossible for us to make sense of things. So we use that for us to make it easier for us humans to have knowledge and to use that knowledge in real life. But in many situations, it also hurts us by making these generalizations and categorizations. So that student can still change. That student can still show some behavior, take some actions that would be positive. But as long as we have pushed them into that category, for us, they're always going to be associated with something negative. Recently, I had this same situation. Someone who I know did something that I felt was negative, and when I responded to that, they felt that I did something negative to them. So moving forward from that point, am I able to separate the negative actions that they took, and are they able to separate the negative actions that I took? Are they able to separate those from the person? The next time I see that person, will I be able to say, whatever the person says, I'm not going to just categorically say that it's stupid or it's wrong or it's bad. I'm not going to just automatically argue with them. And I'm not going to automatically oppose them. I'm going to try to be objective. Do I still believe that that person has something valuable and positive to give? I do. Even though a person might do terrible things, we still need to be able to be objective enough to see the positivity that can come out of it and to see the other qualities that are there. Because nothing is ever 100% black and white. So I hope that that is just a reminder to everyone. I'm sure that you already know this on some level, but it's good just to be reminded of it, because I'm sure there's someone in your life, whether it's a group of people or an individual, who has done something that you disagree with or that you don't like, or maybe they've even hurt you in some way. And are you able to objectively see the other side of that person? It's a very important skill to have. So that's it for today. Make sure you like this video, share it with people who you think might need to hear this message, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.